Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. My name is Jaslyn. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can join the crew and so you don't miss out on any future videos. In today's video, I am going to talk about one of my favorite topics to talk about, two, one of my most requested topics to talk about, which is hair growth. How can I get my hair to grow long? How can I get my hair to be like yours? How can I get my hair to grow? Disclaimer, this video is not meant to offend anyone. It's not meant for anyone to feel bad or anything like that. The topics that I'm going to discuss today are just real talk. I'm going to be debunking a lot of misconceptions we have as a culture about hair, as well as sharing some nuggets, some tips for you to grow your natural hair. The first thing I need you to do is to be open-minded. I feel like when I talk to people about this topic, they shut down and they just think, oh, well, my hair doesn't do that, so there's just no hope for me. That's not true. So if you're gonna watch this video, I need you to be open-minded and I need you to know that your hair can grow too. All right, so if you're interested, stick around. All right, before we get started, my hair is just in a blowout. I blew it out for Easter and rocked it in a cute little twist out, and this is just old, so I just put it up in a little little ponytail, whatever, on top of my head to look cute. But that's what I'm doing with my hair right now. Okay, so the first misconception I would like to debunk is my hair does not grow. That is a lie. If you are alive, your hair is growing. Period. It does not matter if you can't see the growth or not, your hair is growing. That's why you constantly need touch-ups for dye jobs or relaxer or whatever. Your hair is always growing. Period. What may be happening, and this is very common, is that your hair is breaking off at the same speed that it's growing. So it doesn't look like it's getting longer because it's not getting longer. It is growing, but it's also breaking off. When you are trying to grow out your hair, one thing you have to keep in mind is, how can I stop breakage or slow down my breakage rate? That's the only way you're going to retain length and start seeing your hair's length get longer over time. That's just a scientific fact. Your hair is growing. And your hair can grow as long as you want it to grow if you learn the science behind your hair. One thing is porosity level. Porosity is knowing how porous your hair is, how your hair absorbs moisture. If you want to grow long hair, you need to moisturize your hair. For the most part, a lot of naturals have low porosity, meaning it is harder for moisture to get into your hair and stay there. So it doesn't matter what kind of products you buy, doesn't matter how expensive, how affordable, how much you put on your hair. If your hair is not absorbing it, you're not getting the benefits from it. You're not getting the moisture from it. It sits on top of your hair and does nothing else but coat your hair and then evaporate. It doesn't actually penetrate the hair, feeding it and giving it moisture that it needs in order to stay on your head. So one way you can figure out your porosity level is to get a glass of water and find a piece of hair that's either shedded from your head or in your brush, in your comb. Take that strand of hair and place it into the cup of water. If your hair floats for a long period of time, that means your hair is not absorbing that water. It has low porosity. If your hair floats down to the middle of the cup, then that means you have normal porosity hair, which means your hair does naturally absorb moisture. If your hair floats all the way down to the bottom of the glass, then your hair has high porosity. It's able to absorb lots of moisture at a time. So depending on your hair porosity, depends on how you apply product. Like I said, it doesn't matter what product, any product, how you apply that product. If you have low porosity hair, the goal is to get the products to go into the hair. So you need to open up those cuticles, and one way to do that is to add gentle heat. So steaming, or a plastic cap, or sitting under a hooded dryer. That's how you get your hair cuticles to open up, to allow those products to get into the hair. And then to seal that in is to add coolness. So rinsing your hair with cold water will seal your cuticles shut, locking in that moisture. If you have normal porosity hair, you're pretty much good to go. Your hair knows how to absorb moisture and it knows how to close the cuticles on its own. It's good. If you have high porosity hair, you would think that would be good because it absorbs a lot of moisture. It does, but moisture also evaporates quickly as well. So you want to make sure those cuticles are closed by adding coolness to your hair. Cool water, cool heat, or cool air, I should say. So once you learn your porosity level, you will know how to apply your products correctly to get the most bang for your buck. I think I'm gonna make this a two-part video just because it's a lot of information and I want to kind of just put it all in a video so I could just send people to it when they ask me this question. My next tip to growing long, luxurious hair is to focus on the health of your hair, not necessarily the length of your hair. Once you start focusing on how healthy your hair is, then the length will come naturally. So the health of your hair, meaning the moisture level, like I talked about, learning your porosity, adding the correct amount of moisture to your hair, deep conditioning, moisturizing shampoo or co-wash, moisturizing leave-in conditioner, moisturizing treatments, all that stuff. Making sure your hair is in good condition, making sure it has enough moisture and elasticity balance, or protein. Elasticity is just the ability for your hair to bounce back. If you pull it when it's curly and it bounces back, that means your hair is elastic. It has the ability to withstand some manipulation. Instead of breaking off when you pull it, it bounces back. So that's something to just pay attention to when you are doing your hair. And if your hair doesn't bounce back, then you know you need some more protein in your routine, or products that say strengthening or elasticizer or something like that. Trims, which we'll talk about soon later in this video or in part 2. Also with health is what you're consuming. So vitamins, having just a daily vitamin that you take, as well as just eating healthier. I do eat a mainly plant-based diet, so that does help me. I do recommend that to you as well. Your hair will thank you for it because the hair does grow from the inside out, and having just a well-balanced diet definitely helps with hair growth. My next tip is keeping your hair on your head. What does that mean? I know I am not the only one getting my hair done and whoever is doing my hair is detangling it and just being rough with it, and next thing I know I'm seeing balls of hair flying on the floor or in the brush. All that hair could still be on my head. Same with you. Detangling can be detrimental to your hair care. Seriously, all that hair that's on the floor and in your comb could have stayed on your head. I do have a detangling one-on-one video. I'll link it above. Check that out after this video. I'll also link it down below. One, when you learn how to properly detangle natural hair, it won't seem so overwhelming. It won't take as long, won't be as painful, and you'll keep your hair on your head. Unfortunately, a lot of us are detangling with the wrong tools. We're detangling with rat tooth combs or combs with very small teeth, not allowing knots in our curls to get through it, and it actually rips our hair out. We are detangling on very dry, damaged hair. Instead of adding some lubricant or some slip to it, we're just raking through it, not being patient when it comes to detangling our hair. So a lot of the time we are the cause of why our hair is not still on our head. So definitely check out my video on how to detangle if you are not familiar or do not know how to gently detangle natural hair. Being mindful of your hair rubbing on different material can definitely also keep your hair on your head and retain length. So a lot of the time what's rubbing on things are our ends. Our ends are the oldest part of our hair. They are the weakest part, the most fragile part, and it's the part that we're trying desperately to keep on our head in order to see length. So being mindful of what your ends are rubbing against is very important. Being on your sweater, on the back of your car seat. A lot of times, sometimes when I wear my hair down, which I rarely wear it down like this because it gets caught on things. And sometimes I'm just walking and don't realize it until it's too late and it's then broke off on something. It gets caught in my glasses. I have to, remember to make sure my hair is out of my face when I'm wearing my glasses. I remember I went to go get my hair done and my stylist said, "Jazz, I see breakage in the front of your head." And I said, I know exactly what it's from. It's from my glasses. So just being mindful of what your hair can and does get caught on, and just taking measures to prevent that from continuing to happen so that your hair can stay on your head and be longer and pretty. Okay? So towels, if you are natural and you are drying your hair with a towel, stop. Stop immediately. Do not dry your hair with a towel. Our hair is coily, it's curly, it's kinky, and it easily gets wrapped up in those fibers of the towel and can break off. Also, those towels are very drying to the hair. They suck way too much moisture out of the hair. Try using an old t-shirt that you just don't mind using for your hair and wrap your hair in that. You can leave that on your head for however long you want to leave it on for. You take it off, your hair still feels moisturized and just full of life instead of having moisture sucked out of it. So try using a t-shirt instead of a towel. It goes a long way. Thank you so much for tuning into part 1. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on part 2. But don't forget to hit the like button. I will see you next week. Bye.